Hi everyone, welcome back and welcome to my sofa. Sorry if the lighting in this video isn't great in typical British style. Yesterday was a glorious day and I missed the opportunity to film, and today it's grey and chucking it down, so there is no room with any decent lighting, so I'm hoping this pays off. Here in the UK it is Mental Health Awareness Week, and I don't know if that's just in the UK or if it's worldwide, but I thought it would be the perfect chance for me to sit down and just have a bit of a chat about my personal experience with mental health issues. Yes, I'm here sat on the sofa in my top's nice, but I'm in joggers and a fluffy blanket because it's freezing. Like I said, yesterday was so hot, I was roasting all day, but today is absolutely freezing. So I thought I'm just going to get comfy and just chat. So I did mention in a get to know me video that I've done, I tagged on the very end a couple of extra questions, and one was to do with mental illness and mental illnesses that I have. So I just thought, being Mental Health Awareness Week, I would take this as an opportunity to come and sit down and just talk about what I suffer from, how it affects me, and that if anyone is listening or watching, you're not alone. So I'm just going to get straight into that and mental illnesses that I have. So I just thought, being Mental Health Awareness Week, I would take this as an opportunity to come and sit down and just talk about what I suffer from, how it affects me, and that if anyone is listening or watching, you're not alone. I'm officially diagnosed with anxiety and depression, OCD, and very mild form of PTSD. So I work through each of those and when I was diagnosed. So I'm 24 now, and I was diagnosed officially with anxiety and depression. Well, it was firstly depression when I was about 2021. And what happened really was, I think my mum was ill too, and I'll talk about that later. And she has recurring anxiety and manic depression, but she was officially diagnosed with bipolar, and then they withdrew that diagnosis. So we went through a lot when I was young and saw my mum ill quite a bit. And I think as the oldest child, I tried to protect my younger brothers a lot, to try to fill in that mothering gap. So there was that. And for years and years and years, I obviously kind of didn't think about my own feelings and just thought, I've got to be strong. Like, I know I thought not many people went through this, and I didn't know anybody else that had gone through it, so I didn't really talk about it. I just thought I could keep my head down, look after my brothers, help my dad where I can, help my mum obviously, and just kind of get on with things. So that's what I did, and I did that for a long time, good few years. And then, like I said, I got to about 2021, I can't remember when it was exactly, I think it may have been when I was 21. I was just one night going through some old family pictures, and I remember it very distinctively. I was in my bedroom at home and I was going through some old pictures, just ones with my family, not specifically my mum, but there were a few of my mum, and I remember seeing how happy she was, how different she looked. And I think it was then I realised that she changed. I think when you see someone every single day, you just get used to it and you don't realise how much they've changed. So I think that's when it clicked, hang on a minute, she's not the person she used to be. And yeah, it made me upset, but I just thought, okay, it is what it is. The next day, I went to get up for work and I just felt like I had a breakdown. I literally crumbled, and I didn't even know what I felt. It was hard because I'd never had these feelings before, but I literally felt like I just couldn't leave the house. I couldn't face other people, I couldn't face going to work. I was so confused and I didn't know why, and I just remember going down to my dad because he was downstairs, and I was just like, burst out crying. And I was just like, oh my god, I don't know what's happening. I feel like I'm having like a breakdown, but I don't know why. Like, I don't know what caused it or anything at the time. So, okay, obviously something was wrong. Yeah, you have days where you think, oh, I don't want to go to work, but this was like something else, and I felt worthless, like useless and worthless. So my dad was there and he said, right, we need to get you a doctor's appointment. And I was like, okay. And I made this doctor's appointment, and my dad was like, oh, I'll come with you. And I was like, well, I'm 21. I'm like, I don't take my parents to any of my appointments, and I haven't for a very long time, but I just didn't know what I was going to say to this doctor. Like, I didn't know what had happened. So okay, I took my dad along with me. I'm glad I did, because I couldn't talk when I got there. I was so upset, but I couldn't tell her why. So my dad tried to explain what had happened, what I'd been feeling, and what was going on with my mum, and he had actually picked up on it that I was subconsciously being a mum. Like, I was looking after my younger brothers, I was helping with shopping, stuff around the house, still I had my own full-time job, and I was coming home and then doing extra things, all while seeing my mum suffer. I'm sorry, I've got a runny nose. So yeah, went to the doctors, and she said that she thought I had depression, and I was like, no, can't have that, like, I'm fine. And obviously I wasn't fine. That was day 1, and I was off of work for about 2 months. I didn't go back for 2 months, and during that 2 months they put me on some medication. They put me on citalopram, 10 milligram, and during the time I was off, I felt worse. I couldn't leave the house. Like, everything changed in a split second. My life had changed, and I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't even think of meeting up with people, having people around. I didn't want that because I didn't want to talk. So I just stayed at home. And then my partner's mum and sister, I remember they invited me out to go and pick fruit, because they're like, yeah, come out, to encourage me. And I went, and I had a good day. But I always feel like then you end up talking about how you're feeling, and I hated that, and I still hate it now. I don't like to talk about myself because I don't like to think about it. And so that 2 months kind of came and went, and I didn't do much. My medication was increased towards the end because I started feeling nervous. I was nervous about going back to work, nervous that people would judge me, nervous that people would know what was going on, or that they think nothing's wrong with her, she looks fine, things like that. And I was just scared to go back to work. And I work in pharmacy, and I work with a lot of people. There is a lot of pressure, and I have a lot of patients and customers. So there was all of that mounted into it, and they increased my medication to the highest strength of citalopram. I'm so sorry, I've now got something on my face. This is like the worst thing ever happening. So anyway, my 2 months finished, and I went back to work, and I went back on a phased return, and that's where you go back to work. And I worked full time, so I went back and did, say, 4 hours a day, Monday to Friday 1 week, and 6 hours a day the next week, and slowly increased my time until I was back full time. And that was great, yeah. And I went back to work, and I got back into the swing of things really, really quickly. So I'd say I was diagnosed in probably the end of May, the start of June that year. And I went back to work in, I don't know, the start of August. And my partner then surprised me with a weekend away for the bank holiday in August that year. And we went away, and we were having a really good time, and we went to Brighton, and I remember having like drinks like on this beach bar area, and I was just thinking the whole time, like, he's looking at other girls, or there was this really good looking waitress in this like bar in the evening turned into a nightclub, so she was dressed for the evening, this like little skirt on and this shirt, and I felt awful. Like, I felt so like ugly, like in comparison. And I absolutely flipped because I just thought, and he probably just glanced over because she brought us our drinks for starters, and then he was looking around like I was looking around, but I was constantly thinking that I was catching him looking at someone else. And again, that's when like breakdown 2 happened in the middle of Brighton, and I just flipped. I just went absolutely mad, and I was so upset, and I just felt like I'd crumbled, and like my world had just came crashing down. And I remember I just left, and I walked all the way back to the hotel. God knows how I'll find it because I have no sense of direction. And I got back to the hotel and I just locked myself in the bathroom and cried, and all I wanted to do was talk to my dad because he had had the most experience like with this. So I thought, yeah, he can help me. And my partner came back and he was just like, come on, like, let me in to the bathroom because I'd locked myself in there. Come and talk. And I didn't even know what to say, and I can't remember what I said now. But I'm sure it was a load of rubbish. But these aren't stupid things and things to ignore. At the time I thought I'm being stupid. So I didn't think anything of it after that. I just thought I was freaking out over nothing. I was like acting extremely paranoid, and I just shrugged it off, and I kind of wish I didn't, but I did. And I think as soon as you shrug something off and you force yourself to get over it, you always feel like you can't go back and talk about it like a week later when you probably feel better. Like, I don't want to go back to my partner and bring back up what had happened, so I just left it. So anyway, that was August. The rest of the year was fine. Then the following year in March we went to Egypt. And Egypt was bloody brilliant, and it is still my favourite holiday. But in Egypt, like, I had another one of these freakouts, and I can remember exactly what happened. We were in the pool together, and there was 2 things. One was that my partner jumped in the pool with his phone in his pocket, and you'd laugh it off and you'd think, oh, what a stupid thing to do, your phone's going to be wrecked. But I was so annoyed. How could you be so irresponsible to jump in the pool with your phone? And I was like, hang on a minute, calm down. Like, he's laughing and it's his own phone. Yeah, he's annoyed, but it's one of them things. But I was like furious that how could you be so stupid? I couldn't get my head round. Why could you not like realise that your phone was in your pocket and you just jumped into this pool? And I was like so mad. And again I thought, whoa, like, where did that come from? Because I'm a really laid back person and I love to have fun. But suddenly this other part of me like clicked, and I was angry. And I just left it because I thought, as quick as it came on, I got over it. And I was just like, look, if he's laughing, it's his phone. Leave it. And I don't know if it was the same day, but obviously we were only there for a week, so it happened in a very short space of time. But back in that pool again. This pool was lovely, by the way. And there was no one there because we went out of season, so we had the whole pool virtually to ourselves. And we were both in the pool and we were just messing around, just splashing. And I said to him, just don't splash me in the face. The last thing I wanted was to be splashed in the face. And I think it was because at that point I was in the pool but I hadn't got my hair wet and I hadn't got my face wet. I was swimming but like up to here, I hadn't gone under. And I didn't want my face wet and I didn't want my hair wet at that point for whatever reason. I can't remember if we were going to go out that evening or I probably just washed it and I didn't want to have to go through that again. But he bloody splashed me in the face, didn't he? And I absolutely freaked out. I got out of the pool and I stormed off, left everything at the poolside. And again, and I'm not a stroppy person and I'm not a storming off person. But I was so angry in that split second that I just burst out crying. And I was so upset that this had happened. And I was like gutted, like it had ruined my afternoon that I got splashed in the face. So then I realised that, okay, that's again not a normal reaction. Yeah, you can be annoyed and slightly pissed off that someone's done something you asked them not to, but I was so fuming and angry. So I left and I went to the room just to cool down, and then I was upset. Do you know when you're upset with your actions, you're like gutted you let something get to you and it's ruined a certain part of your day for you and someone else. So when we got home from our holiday, I went back to the doctors and I said, this has happened a couple of times, I just can't like control my outbursts. And they said, okay, let's try and give you some therapy. So I thought, okay, great, I can talk to someone. Because bearing in mind it'd been almost a year since I'd been diagnosed and I hadn't really spoken to anyone. They just gave me medicine. And it helped to a certain extent, but some stuff was breaking through, the medicine wasn't enough. I had no vent, like no chance to vent, no chance to talk to someone and get all my feelings out. So they said, let's give you some therapy, and I was like, yeah, great, okay, I'll go. So I started this therapy and the first few sessions were awful, which is what I expected. Awful in the sense that you have to talk to somebody about everything that makes you sad and everything that makes you feel rubbish and low and down. So you come out and you feel exhausted, like mentally and physically drained, because you've been in there for an hour and you've cried to someone, and an hour isn't enough. And you go in and it's like, oh, you come out, and the amount of times I went to appointments before work or during work and then couldn't go back to work because I was an absolute mess. I literally went home, cried that much and fell asleep. I remember at one point I went and it was meant to be, they gave me 2 hours off work to go because I had to travel to where it was, go for my appointment and come back. And say my appointment was at 1, got there, had my appointment, next thing I know it was like 4:30 and I was just at home and I hadn't even rang work or anything. I was a total mess. Luckily, when I did get in touch with my boss, she was really understanding. She was that busy, she hadn't actually realised that I hadn't gone back to work. And I was just like, oh, this is awful. I absolutely hate therapy. Like, I couldn't grasp the concept of it. I knew what it was meant to be doing, but I just hated it. But I carried on going. So I had therapy every couple of weeks, and I got to session 6, and she said to me, I think there's a problem with your sleeping. That's why you're so tetchy. And I can't remember at the time if I was sleeping well or not, but I remember thinking that isn't my problem. Sleeping isn't my issue. And she gave me like some papers to read on sleeping and how to get to sleep and how to stay asleep. And then she gave me like a disc to listen to. And I just thought, this is a waste of my time. Like, I haven't got a problem with sleeping. If I've got a problem with sleeping, I'll go and get something for that. That isn't my problem. And I went for a couple more sessions and I thought, I don't want to do this. And at the same time I thought I didn't want to do this, my therapy stopped. Like, they ran out of funding or something. So I wasn't going to get anything else anyway, and I thought, good, because I don't want to go to this woman, she made me feel awful. And I just don't think we clicked. So anyway, I had the therapy and I was still on medication and I just carried on with life. But life isn't normal when you are constantly thinking of stuff that's happened, that's made you sad, and stuff you see on a daily basis that triggers an old memory, and it ruins your day and you feel like you want to cry. Or you wake up one day and you think, I can't do this, I can't get out of bed, I can't go to work, I hate going to work, I don't want to put a front on for 9 hours. It's exhausting. And you just want to stay in bed, or you want to watch TV. And I find the best thing is to watch a reality stuff when you can escape into someone else's life for a few hours and just pretend you're like one of them, or only imagine what it's like to live a different life. So that was happening like quite a lot, and I was going to and from the doctors to talk, and they just said carry on with your medication, see how you get on. And that went on for a couple of years, and I was having like little breakdowns or little episodes during that time where I was like, had time off work, no long period of time, but I was constantly crying, low, or I wouldn't get out of bed. I'd refuse to go to social events. That started happening. I couldn't bear going to see friends because I was too anxious and nervous to go, and I didn't want to talk, or I was scared to get onto the topic of my health. Family events, no, with like all them people in one room, so I missed loads of stuff. My mate had a birthday and she had a party and I was invited, and I literally went to drop my present off. That was enough. I almost vomited doing that. Came home, I just couldn't imagine, so I missed a lot of stuff during that time. And obviously my partner stayed with me the whole time, and obviously it's hard because you think, oh, I can't tell you what's triggering this, so you can't help me to a certain extent. If I knew what it was, I'd try and help myself, but I didn't know what was making me so sad all the time. So that happened, and that was for a couple of years until last year, and some other stuff happened, and I'm not being too informative about what happened and who was involved and stuff, because you don't know who could end up watching this. So I do want to be personal, private, to protect my partner or family in case anyone sees this. So anyway, last year some stuff happened, and it put a lot of pressure on my relationship with my partner, and I lost loads of trust, because I was already paranoid about stuff. And just to make it clear, my partner isn't a bad person, just something in my mind makes me scared, constantly worried. And I just thought, I can't even be in this relationship, because what is the point? I'm always so scared and worried something's going to happen or I'm going to get hurt. And again, there was a few bad days and I got over it, but I didn't get over it. And it's always in your mind, and you never forget, and you never forget anything. You never forget any details. The mind's a powerful thing, and you remember more as time goes on. So, that's last year, and yeah, I just got on with things. It was a bit of a rough year last year. And then comes to last November, and we find a house. And we fall in love with this house we're in now. And it's amazing. It's so cosy, it's lovely, it's a perfect starter home. And we get the house and we move in the week before Christmas. So we move in and everything is bloody perfect. I've moved away from the area I used to live. I'm about 40 minutes away from there. Because another thing that I found was happening is I don't want to go out in public because I don't want to bump into people that I knew. I stopped going to the gym because it's like a school reunion in there. Everybody went to the same gym and I hated that. I hated thinking back on school life. My school life was great, but some people just stuck with me and I didn't want to see them. So that's why we moved away. And another factor was that we both worked this end of the area we live in. So it was easier. It was literally cutting our commute into half of what it was, less than a half, sorry. So yeah, everything was perfect. We've moved away, got away from the worry, the people, I was close to where I worked. What more could you want? And then, so that was December, the very end of December. January comes around, feeling good, and we come towards the end of January, start of February, and every feeling starts coming back, and I'm so gutted because I think I've literally moved my whole life away from the stuff that bothered me before, why is it still happening? And that's the thing, it sticks with you. You could move anywhere and you'd still have that worry and that problem. And it doesn't leave or anything. So I was so gutted. I felt like a failure that I'd done it. We'd planned and we'd moved and we'd spent all this money. And I felt exactly the same as I did when I was at home. And the gut feelings, like, not the gut feelings, but the paranoia stayed with me. So I have a big issue, like, if my partner's on his phone, I constantly think he's messaging someone else, constantly. He's probably just playing on his phone, or he's on the internet, Instagram or something. So that's the thing, I could move away from all of this, but stuff that I was seeing, like, stayed the same. So that brings us to February, and the same thing happened that happened 2-3 years ago. And I woke up one day and I thought, no, I can't get out of bed. I felt shocking. So I actually got up, forced myself up, and I went to work. And I felt rubbish. All day I felt like that any customer that complained was aiming it towards me, even though they weren't. I wasn't even serving them. But every negative comment I heard was really personal and really, like, struck a chord. And I was angry and upset and exhausted all day. And I went home and I thought, God, right, I've survived. Went back another day and I went home halfway through the day and I just thought, no. Had a few days off, went back to work for one day. Same happened again. I was literally in tears at work. I was just frustrated. I couldn't work in that environment. And obviously by this time I've been working in pharmacy for about 4.5-5 years now. So it's not something that happened in a week and I was suddenly really frustrated with pharmacy. It built up over a long time with a lot of personal life stuff going on, and it's built up and I was just like, oh, I can't, this isn't for me, like, it really isn't. I wasted so much time already. So I went home, and that was 2.5 months ago, and I'm still here at home. And I just couldn't face going back. But I have made progress. So before I go into that, another thing that happened when I was ill is I had constant stomach problems, stomach pain, stomach discomfort, bloating, nausea, things like that. And everyone tells me it's linked with anxiety. And to a certain extent it probably is. But on days when I'm good and I'm not anxious, I still suffer. So I don't know if it's linked. I still haven't been given a proper answer. It's almost like it's still an ongoing issue. But you do, and obviously when you're anxious you get like, you feel sick and your stomach flips and stuff like that. So there was that end of it. So I was exhausted from being permanently ill and like in and out of the doctors and in and out of the hospital. I even had an operation on my stomach and they couldn't find anything. So it was so weird, like it wasn't like I was just thinking this, like I had all the symptoms to go with it. My stomach was bloated. My stomach did something called bracing, so any time somebody touched me, it tensed, it braced. That's why my stomach was constantly bloated, because my stomach was scared of being hurt. I don't know, freaky. So that was happening, and that still happens now. So here we are, May 2017, and I am 2.5 months into therapy, and it's going really good, and I'm clicking with this therapist, and it's so good. So this now, in a way, proves to myself that my other therapist just wasn't right for me. And I've had about 10, maybe more sessions with her. They started off every week, and then I felt like I was getting a little bit better. So I started having them every 2 weeks. and now they're back to weekly, just because I am feeling a bit rough. But again, there's other personal influences that go into that. So this therapist is really, really good, and we talk through a lot of stuff, but it has taken us 10 or more sessions just to like empty my head, if you like, to get it out onto the plate, to really start talking about it. And now from next week we're going to start working through all these bullet points she's made to try and figure each one out and why it happens, why I think that. So there isn't really much to say on the therapy side of things. That's just how it is. I don't know if it's CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy, or something different that I have. I can't remember. But if it's something different, I have had both. So moving on to my diagnosis is I have anxiety and depression, which is self-explanatory from what I've just said. I've had OCD, so I've always been someone that's been organised, likes things a certain way. Things have to be in a certain place. Don't move them, don't touch them, don't try and clean them for me. But since I've moved out, it's got even stronger. So my partner can't even put shopping away in case like tins are facing the wrong way, or stuff goes in the wrong cupboard, or the reusable bags don't go back in the right place, they're just slung in the cupboard. Or, I don't know, things like that. You make a sandwich and you leave stuff out. Why? You put stuff on top of the wash basket instead of in it. Little things like this just infuriate me. So that's my OCD. And again, I could go to somebody else's house and it could be a tip and it wouldn't bother me because that's somebody else's living space. And I don't judge or anything like that. It's me and what I'm in control of in my own space. And there's the PTSD. And what my therapist is saying is that it works on the same lines as people with severe PTSD. So you have a traumatic event or something that sticks with you during your life and it like crushes you and you feel rubbish. But anyway, years later, like now, I could hear something that reminds me of it. Someone could say something, someone with the same name could pop up, and it takes me straight back to those thoughts and feelings, and it's a constant cycle. And then I hear it and it ruins my day. And I don't mean ruins my day as in, for God's sake. I will be like, I say emotionless, but I could cry but I could feel nothing, like heartless. And I won't want to leave the house, I'll stay at home, I don't want to talk to anyone. If you talk to me, you're annoying me. And which is a horrible thing, isn't it? Somebody's going to try and help you. But this thing has just taken me straight back and it stops you in your tracks and you just think, no, this isn't like fair. I'm not going to go out and do this and that. So yeah, there's that too. And that's a recent diagnosis that's came from my therapist through to my doctor. So within the last 2.5 months. So yeah, this isn't just like me and my illness. I've first-hand lived with somebody with an illness too, my mum. And she's been ill for a long time. I don't know how long, maybe 10 years. So I know exactly what it's like to live with someone and see someone suffer, and you feel so angry and the resentment, and you always feel annoyed at them because it's almost like unfair for that person. So you're annoyed, you're like, why do you feel that way? Why can't you bring yourself out of it? And it's so strange because now I've been diagnosed with a mental illness, I still, especially with my mum, don't feel like I can understand her any better. I still feel as furious and as annoyed as I did when I was younger. And I think it's because it's so hard to see someone you're so close to suffer. So you, of course, are going to feel hate towards the illness and you feel annoyed towards the person because you think, pull yourself out of it, come on, like please, sort of thing. So I have lived with someone with a mental illness for a long time, and yes, you can inherit like genetic things, well, not genetically, but if you live with someone that's a constant worrier, like I lived obviously with my mum when I was very small, you grow up and you absorb their personalities. It's like if you constantly shout at a child when they're younger, when they get a bit older and you shout, it has no effect on them because they're so used to you shouting, it's the norm for them. So it's like if you live with a constant worrier, you grow up to be a bit of a worrier yourself and you think that's normal because it's what you've learned off your parents. So that's slightly what's happened, I suppose. I don't think I've kind of inherited or got her depression off her. I think it's all the little things that I've gone through have now turned into that for me. So yeah, I have lived with someone with a mental illness, and then obviously I live with my partner now, and I can't imagine what it's like for him. We do talk a lot and we're getting better at that. So I'm trying to understand what it's like for him and he's trying to understand more what it's like for me. So it's hard because I think anyone with an illness would agree that you can't tell your partner what you want from them because you don't know yourself. It's like when I'm down, I want to be hugged. I don't know, because when I am down and you try and come and hug me, I don't want it, I want to be on my own. But then you feel sad because you've almost rejected that person and all you want is them to come back. Why are you not coming back? But you just told them to go away, sort of thing. So why come back, like hug me, goddammit, but you have told them to leave. So you're fighting a battle against yourself, and it's confusing for the other person because then next time they think, well, last time you didn't want to hug. What do I do now? And then you're annoyed at them because they haven't hugged you, but they can't win. My battery died, which is great. So I went for some lunch and put a jumper on because I was that cold. So this is how the second half is going to go. I actually might have to split this video into two because it's so long. I've already got like 50 minutes worth of footage and it's going to take me about 6 days to edit. I'm just trying to get my notes back up. I can't remember where I was. I was talking about my partner, I think, living with someone and how they can help you and how you can get them to help you, etc. But I think I said what I wanted to say on that part. So my kind of final bullet point I made was, how do I manage? Like, how do I deal with my illness? So it is tough, I'm not gonna lie. It's so hard fighting against yourself and your thoughts pretty much every day. Yes, there is good days where you forget that you have an illness. I still take medication every single day and that buys me good days and good times and stuff like that. So yeah, I could go a couple of weeks feeling great. It's not unheard of for that to happen. But then I could be ill constantly forever. Not forever, what feels like forever. So like 2.5 months like this time. And I've just noticed that my hair blends into my jumper, so it looks like I've got a hoodie on. Oh dear. So yeah, I'm not too sure how I would describe where I am now because I'm still not recovered. My journey is still probably only halfway there, and I know I'll come out the other side, and I think it goes for anyone without saying that if you've got a mental illness or if you live with someone with a mental illness or you have first-hand experience of that, you are a strong person. You're never the person you started out as, but you're stronger and you are better. And I think it's amazing that you can battle against yourself and carry on and sometimes put such a good front on that people wouldn't even know. You're almost leading two lives. The life that people see and the life you've actually got when you're at home or behind closed doors. So I don't really, like I said, how I manage now is with a lot of help. help from my doctor, my therapist, my partner, my parents, and from medication. So I spoke about medication earlier on, and when I was on citalopram, when I first got diagnosed, I went through all strength citalopram. I went to sertraline, and sertraline suited me for about 2 years. And again, I went through both strengths of that. And then when I fell ill this time, so the end of last year, sertraline wasn't doing anything for me. The side effects were worse than the help they were giving me. So it didn't give me any relief from my depressing thoughts and stuff like that, but I was constantly tired, I was asleep. One side effect is like yawning, constant yawning, and obviously it's hard when you're at work and you literally can't stop yourself. See, now I'm talking about yawning, I've just yawned. And you're talking to someone and you can't help it. The other thing was my pupils were dilated, so I looked high like constantly, and I felt sick, really sick on them. So I almost was on them constantly for the 2 years, and then came off them for a few months before I moved out, went straight back on them when I felt the symptoms coming back on again, and they just didn't touch it. But I didn't give it like a week, I gave it a good month and a half, and then it was only at the start of this year. They changed my medication again, so I'm on metazapine now to help me sleep, because I lose a lot of sleep. Now I sleep a lot, I sleep about 12 hours a night, but they said that's normal, and it should die down because I've just increased my dose from 15 to 30, because what's happening is like when I shut my eyes, like I can see things and stuff. Like I start like dreaming instantly, but I'm awake, if that makes any sense. So I wasn't like settling at night, I had to sleep the light on. And so now I'm just knocked out from an hour with them taking them until 12 hours later. Oh my gosh, all this talk of yawning and tiredness, and it's making me yawn. Okay, so however, yeah, I am where I am because of the help I've received. But, and it goes to anybody else that's going through the same, it's not everyone else's jobs that have made you as good as you are. You are as good and as strong as you are, because I would have only got that help if I had gone to the doctor, which I did. I would have only got the therapy if I pushed for it, which I did. I would only be receiving therapy if I go to each and every session, which I do. I'd only be getting the release or the relief that I get when I take the medication, because I take it and because I promptly go and get my prescriptions and stuff like that. So anyone that's going through the same, whether you're going through it and it's been recognised, or whether you're going through it and you're not sure, don't be scared to ask, especially if you're male. So many men go through this, and it's like a stigma attached to it, macho men and stuff, that you can't show any signs. You can, and you have a lot more respect if you just accept it and talk. You'll be amazed that no one will judge you. And even though that I think that people judge me and they can tell and they don't want to come and see me and stuff like that, but nothing in that sense changes. Yes, people are going to approach you slightly differently because they might be scared of what they say so they don't insult you, but you don't lose anything from it. So especially if you're male, just step forward, go and ask somebody, go and see a male doctor if that makes you more comfortable. Just talk to somebody, you'll be amazed. I think it's 1 in 4 people have a mental illness, so there's going to be people that you're living near that are going to suffer, or that know somebody that's currently suffering. So I think the biggest, oh my gosh, I need to stop talking about yawning and sleeping. The biggest thing for me would be, well, to say to anybody, just talk about it and don't be afraid and don't be scared. It's one of the hardest illnesses I think you can have, because your body is going against you. And it's also an invisible illness, so nobody can tell unless you're really low or down and you're living with somebody. But you could choose to go out and put a front on, or go to work, put your makeup on, get dressed up. No one can tell. So because it hasn't got any physical, like visible, that's probably the better word, visible symptoms, like my leg isn't broken, my arm isn't broken, I've not got a massive scratch, no one can tell. So just because no one can tell or no one can see it doesn't mean it's any different. It's such a serious thing, and I think you really need to go and speak up, talk to somebody. Even if, remember, everything you say to your GP or anyone is confidential. It's confidential information, so they won't tell anybody. No one will know. Nobody has to know that you've got those appointments or anything like that. Again, I only tell people that I choose to tell, and obviously I know I've made this video, but no one knows I'm making these videos. Only my partner and my mum and dad. So yeah, one of my friends might come across it, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. This is going to be such a long video, and I've probably not covered everything that people would have wanted me to cover, but I thought the best thing to do is to give you my story and where I am now and how I cope. So like I said, I was off work. I'm going back to work on Monday. I'm actually starting a new job, and yes, I'm terrified, but I'm still a normal person, and I still have bills to pay and a house to run, and life carries on. So I have to carry on. I have to go and do these things. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. Again, everything I've spoken about is my personal experience and the advice I've personally been given. I'm not a professional or anything like that, but I will talk to people if they need advice, or if they want somebody to listen or some kind of support. I think we can all support each other. So that's it for my little piece for Mental Health Awareness Week. I hope it's not been too blabby, and if I've missed anything, write a comment down below and I will reply. And for once I'm speechless. I've spoken that much that I'm actually now exhausted, and it's draining talking about your emotions, but the relief you feel is so much more rewarding, honestly. So yeah, just go for it. There's so many people around my age, younger, 16, 17, 18, going through their GCSEs, A-levels, that be feeling the pressure, the stress, the anxiety, nerves for going into that room and taking your exams. I totally understand. I've been there, I've done that, and you know what? We all come out the other end. Nothing is that bad. So anything you're going through, there will be someone that's gone through the same or very similar. And yeah, I know this is rubbish, like a final speech, but I have said everything and I don't know how to end it. But just, you know, thank you so much for watching. This looks so much better now I'm this close to the camera. Sorry if it seemed like I was just chilling out over here. I was, because I knew this would be a rambly one. But thank you for coming to my channel and seeing the video and listening. If you've made it this far, pat on the back, I'm telling you, because I would have probably fallen asleep halfway through. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and there's going to be quite a mixture of videos on this channel. That's what I'm feeling. I don't know what this channel, you know, you got some people that do purely vlogs, makeup, gaming, hairstyles. Mine's like a mixture of everything, because I'm not good at, like, amazingly good at one thing. It's just going to be whatever I'm feeling for that day. Yeah, so today was a chatty one. Sorry guys. But I'm going to try and get a video up on my skincare routine. But I'm just making this up as I go along. And if anyone's watching, please come and say hi. It means a lot. And I'll check all your channels out too. But that's it. Until next time, thank you so much for clicking on. Well done if you've listened till the end. It's been great to chat, and that's it. Until next time, thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Hi everyone, welcome back and welcome to my sofa. Sorry if the lighting in this video isn't great in typical British style. Yesterday was a glorious day and I missed the opportunity to film, and today it's grey and chucking it down, so there is no room with any decent lighting, so I'm hoping this pays off.